And now we've talked about your hybrid series. We know that there are the two books that I've published, which basically people can leap right in at Armageddon Sun. But why don't you tell us about the other hybrid books and where people can get them? And I know you've written some other books as well. So.
Yes. Well, there's the first hybrid, the original, the story that starts it all. That was from LBF. It's now available at Latches Publishing. The second book, also hybrid, Forced Vengeance, is the second book, and we've talked about that. That's also available at Latches Publishing. And it's funny, when Jackie took hybrid Forced Vengeance, the email was, do you think there'll be any problems with me not having hybrid? And I said, well, I had just gotten the rights back to hybrid a week before I got the acceptance from Forced Vengeance. And I said, well, I got the rights back. She said, oh, well, send it to me. And I sent it over to her, and like 3 days later, she goes, well, I want hybrid too. I want the first book. We're going to publish the first book first and push the second book back. So everything had to change, because they took the first book after the second book, but then went back and edited the first book and produced that one, so they'd be out in order.
Right.
And again, that was a great thing to see those books come to life. And it's special because, you know, like I said, my son encouraged me. I mean, I would write chapters of hybrid, and he'd take the pages to his school. Wow. Hey, what do you think of this? Hey, what do you think of this? And he, oh, you know, my friends like this, then my friends not so much this. And he was 14 at the time, as I was writing the first book. And you know, when I did the second book, he was, you know, I think he was a senior. And we would sit down and we would go get coffee at the Honeydew coffee place, and we'd shoot ideas back and forth. The same thing with, you know, now I'm talking to a young man in his, you know, late 20s about Armageddon Sun and battle lines, and we're discussing plot points, and we're discussing scripts over coffee. And it's you know, a artist to artist relationship, you know, bouncing ideas off each other, you know. And it's a blessing to me to have somebody in my home that's like that. And another great collaboration that he was key on was Lost Sons. And that's a story about an immortal Viking that's been around for about 1700 years. And the story of Duncan Cord, which I'm you know, I haven't done as much with it as I wanted to, because I got pulled away into some mystery projects that I'm working on right now. Sins of the Father, my first mystery novel about drug running up and down the Appalachian Trail. And then I have the follow-up, which is Blood Money, and that's about organ harvesting in Boston City hospitals, tagging the homeless like game and harvesting their organs for concierge medicine. And I've got this one detective who's got to solve all these problems. But through all of that, Lost Sons kind of fell through the cracks. I finished and edited the second one of it, but the character of Duncan Cord, the whole mission of Lost Sons was, what happens to somebody who gets so blinded by vengeance that they become what they fought against? And what was great about Lost Sons was the whole morality in the first and second book. You see two sides of the same coin, two beings that are immortal. One that I'm going to embrace my life and I'm going to become rich and powerful. And you have another one, Duncan Cord, who's like, I've had my life, I've lived, I've loved, and I've lost. I'm just going to, kind of like Kwai Chang Caine, wander the world as a drifter for the rest of my days and kind of lay low and stay out of history. And what happens when these two forces collide, these two immortal beings that have this incredible destructive power, and they finally come to blows in the heart of New York City.
Right.
So it's kind of it's science fiction, but it's also a powerful moral lesson on what can happen to somebody when they're so driven to avenge themselves for wrongs done that they themselves become the villain and they don't even realize it.
Yeah, and
So
I read Lost Sons, and just it was just a page turner. It was I just really enjoyed that one as well.